Welcome to the end of the year special for the Dirty Sheets. I'm Cab Manning. I am along with Billy Body, and we are gracious enough and blessed to have young Austin Body as well with us.
Hello.
So
yeah, you guys are blessed because you get him for this half an hour that you're going to hear him for. I'm not blessed because it's been 13 years of hell.
Are you a hell demon, Austin? Is this what's going on?
No, I'm a heaven angel.
There you go. Fallen from heaven. You're the fallen angel, Austin Body. So we're going to go over a few things. We're going to go over in a bit all the stats of the year, as in the categories, the superstar of the year, male, female, heel, babyface,
Right.
pay-per-view match. But we're going to talk about what happened last night a little bit at the end of Raw for their, what they say, 35 years. It's funny because they ignore the TNN Spike TV move for the 4 or 5
Yeah,
years.
no, they said we're on USA for the most of it. But then when I was wondering when they did that highlight clip, they went, "Let's look at the best moments from USA." Did they actually make a conscious effort to filter out those 5 years? I wonder. I was watching carefully, and I think they actually did,
I would think
because
so.
it was a lot of Attitude Era. I mean, you're only looking at 2000 to 2005. It was. That's what, if I am correct. I remember in the year 2000, and I think it was Austin had just come back, and that was the first thing. It was like, I believe it might have been after the pay-per-view where he returned and faced Rikishi. Either that or he was looking for who run him over. But essentially, Austin, he was looking for who run him over. That's right, because it would be September. It would be your season premiere bullshit. So, Austin, it was the return of Austin to television. And so 2000 to 2005. And as a geek, I was watching that thinking, did they get rid of 2000 to 2005 on this bit? Because the key moments would have been Austin returning, the entire invasion against WCW would have been on that thing. So you had
wasn't there.
yeah. And then you would have had a lot of ruthless aggression stuff, which would have been initially Cena breaking through, Evolution. Evolution. What else?
That's all on
I guess
TNN, huh?
It is, yeah. I think that TV deal was. I think that TV deal was 5 years. If I'm right, don't quote me.
Yeah, it said 4 to 5. I saw online, so it's around there. Austin, how's your memory with all this kind of stuff? Do you have this memory like your father does?
I have decent memory, but not great, to be honest.
I don't think he's watched long enough, because for me, it just computes in. And the thing is, I tell you what it is as well. Like, he is growing up with YouTube and things like that, whereas I grew up with a video collection.
Yeah.
And it was a case of rewatching all the time. He's got so much to watch. Like, he's got all his like YouTube stuff, TikToks, Instagram, Pornhub. So all this stuff that he can. Oh yeah, like it's never been on your phone before. Like I've never found it before. So yeah, it's what's that Spider-Man, Spider-Girl video that you and your friends were sharing?
Yeah, because that was like a big popular thing that people were making money off. They were selling that video for like $10.
And why was it on your phone?
Well, because I found it and I was going to sell it.
Oh sure.
Right.
Oh sure. Come on, Austin.
Obviously, a money-making scheme.
Do you think like the audience is stupid, but me and Cav are not? So, and getting back to my point, yeah, it's like you can't, when you're watching all this kind of stuff, when it's fresh things all the time. I think for me, it was a lot of rewatching a lot of these bits and pieces, and so there was no MySpace till 2003, Facebook 2005, Twitter 2009. So, and then I don't know when YouTube really
2010
was.
That's when YouTube started getting popular.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we would rewatch our wrestling tapes. That's what we would do, and with me and Cav specifically, me and you we didn't need to have just the pay-per-views. We probably had recorded Raws and things we could watch too.
Well, you saw that collection of mine. It was every Raw and every SmackDown and every Heat. I had all of them, everything on videotape. I taped them all and I wrote them all down in a book. I still have the books. I got rid of the tapes because I put a lot of all the Raws I got put onto a hard drive, but no need now. It's all, you can go get it, except for the things that now they're cutting out.
So I used to have a recordable DVD player, and I used to put like best bits on. So like, if I'm thinking back, I don't know, something like Edge and Lita's live sex celebration.
I was going to say that they cut that out because there's a titty.
Yeah, just that. Was that? See, I don't know if that was on TNN. I think that would have been because it was right at the start of 2005. So if that deal was 5 years, then that would have ran until September 2005. That it returned back to the USA Network. So that would have been a TNN thing. You know what? I honestly do think they edited that clip out correctly to edit out edit in only US footage. But what was good is that they're so beyond any other wrestling company that you saw Edge and Jericho in the video.
Yeah, I do like that. Like, you could tell that Vince isn't running shit when you see that stuff. And Brian, like, all that stuff is in the thing where Vince would have cut them out. They wouldn't have been, ever, like, they've never been there before. It's so stupid. So I do like that. It's like, this was in your company. This is your history. I don't know why you're upset, like, that they're not there now. Especially, this would be the thing with Vince. Like, they told Edge, like, during the re-signing thing, you want to do more stuff. We really don't have room for you here. You can go ahead and make more money somewhere else. That's fine. Meanwhile, Vince would be upset that then he said, okay, I will, and left instead of taking $4 an hour.
I mean, the TNN clips, if someone made a separate thing for the TNN years, that would be really good because you would fucking have the Invasion on there. You would have the Rikishi saying, I did it for The Rock. You'd have the live sex celebration. You would have Kane burning JR. You would have
I can't
Katie
believe
Vick.
You remember what was on those years.
Katie Vick.
Crazy.
Katie Vick, 2002.
It was all some good stuff. What's Austin? What's your first? What do you remember of Raw? Like, do you have a specific? What's your best memory of Raw, and what's like almost your first memory of even Raw? Anything that stands out that you were like, holy shit, that's never going to leave my head. Something that happened in all the years, and then if you remember like the first time you ever watched Raw, anything stuck in your head from? Would you remember the first time you watched Raw?
The first time I watched Raw, I think it was when CM Punk was doing the whole leaving thing. That's one of the things.
Okay. So that's almost two things at once. Two things.
When he had a belt and he was threatening to leave.
The pipe bomb stuff.
Well, but I mean, when he did the pipe bomb, you were 6 months old.
Really?
Yeah.
The threatening to leave thing is the pay-per-view too, right? That's when he left and put it in the fridge.
That would have been something that he would have watched, that Austin would have watched back, but probably thinks that he watched it live. I think live, you started to watch the build to Rock Cena, as Rock Cena 1, Rock Cena 2, Rock singing to Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I think that would be about it. Yeah, but what about your best?
It is probably that, because it's probably the Rock singing to Vicky Guerrero, because I used to watch it all the time when I was younger. And I had it saved. I had downloaded it on YouTube and stuff, and I used to watch it all the time.
So there's nothing more recent that's your
Any
that would
memory
be your
of
best.
the Benoit stuff? That was a long time ago, right? I'm like, how old would he be then? When was that? I don't even know when that was.
He would be minus 4 years. It's 4 years before he's born. Benoit.
Is it? Really?
I don't know.
I don't even know. I don't know what year it was.
So Benoit was 2007. That was the year I was in Big Brother. So I came out. I was in the house, like, saying, "What do you miss?" And I'll be like, "Well, to be honest, I don't see my family all the time anyway. So and my friends. So I said it's mainly just they're keeping up with wrestling, keeping up with sports. I don't know what signings Man United have made. I don't know what's been going on in wrestling. So, and I come out, and I was given the news that Benoit had done this and what I thought about it and stuff. So yeah, I mean that was happening then, and that was 4 years. I was on TV 4 years before Austin was born. Yeah.
Jesus, because I'm like, yeah. So I'm sure. Do you go back to see old stuff, Austin? Like that kind of stuff where Vince did the tribute and all that?
Well, Dad shows me sometimes on the network. And then sometimes I see stuff on TikTok and YouTube.
But it's not that. It's not those years. It's not those.
Yeah.
It's not Ruthless Aggression years, really. It's more.
There's a few things, but not really.
Yeah, it's more like Attitude Era and stuff.
Do they have it on the network? I bet you every single episode except for that one is on the network. The tribute to Benoit. So there's going to be one missing episode on that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Owen tribute would be questionable, but I do believe that it is there.
That Owen tribute's there, of course. Why would that be questionable?
Because his wife doesn't want him in the Hall of Fame, and they ended up suing. So maybe they just wanted, she's not giving them permission. For some reason, you need her permission to put him in the Hall of Fame, and
that's what's weird. I mean, they could still and just have Brett go up there and induct them. And say, fuck you.
Yeah,
but now that might happen, though, because Vince is gone, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. I mean, it's worse for his legacy that he's tied to AEW somehow where he didn't ever wrestle a second. But yeah, I mean, so that one, I assume if you say it's up there, it's up there. But then, the Over the Edge pay-per-view was put back up.
But that's just cut out. Yeah, that whole piece is just chopped out.
Yeah, it's all just chopped up. And I mean, that's still an odd thing to do when when people have spoken about, on behalf of wrestlers who wrestled on the show, saying Jeff Jarrett was this way and Deborah was crying. And then they send them out there to wrestle. Or to see how they were.
Yes.
I mean, Deborah and Jarrett were crying when they came out, but they came out next.
Yeah, and they walked past them. Walked past the fucking gurney.
Did you have a favorite Raw memory, by the way? Or not really?
A recent one is probably when Rock was outside and he was like making Cody Rhodes bleed. And he was saying he was putting the blood on the belt for Mama Rhodes. That's probably like a
That was fun. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of recency bias stuff, like for me too, Austin. Like I can't remember half the fucking things. I used to be a encyclopedia like your father, and those days are long gone. But like I'm trying to think even myself. I go, what? There's probably things obviously that I've gone wild for. The only thing I could even remember from like old thing where like JR would get you off your ass, right, with his announcing and stuff, and there was a cage match. And I think it was Austin and Taker. And after it was done, Kane came to the ring and the cage was on fire. And it went off the air with them all beating the shit out of the Undertaker and JR, yelling and screaming. I thought that was fucking fantastic. But to remember specific things, I'm sure there's plenty that, you don't remember. Like, how about like, Brett saying this is bullshit, pushing Vince down. That was fantastic.
You know what? I fucking knew that you were going to say that because it was on the tip of my tongue. Go home show for WrestleMania 13 where they finish with the cage match and all four of them are like going at it. Brett, Austin,
and
Sid,
it could have
Taker.
changed the whole main event of Mania and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, shit, crybaby. That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was because Austin was trying to help Brett because he was facing him.
Yeah.
And Undertaker was trying to help Sid. They were trying to help their opponents. It was good. And then they had the whole thing afterwards. Michaels was involved.
Yeah, I don't know why. Just because he wanted to be. Remember, he was picking up the parts of the fucking cage to use, like a big giant pole. It was like he didn't know what to do, and he was coming down, taking off his watch because he wasn't involved. And it's like he's just putting himself in.
Yeah, we also, I mean, there's so many moments you could run through. There's Mick when Foley when Mankind won the belt, like that's a massive pop.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a bigger
Austin
individual. Yeah, an individual pop than that. I'm trying to think what else has specifically happened on Raw. I'm not really bothered about the beer bath thing. I'm not bothered about draft picks. Anything like that.
Forget that. Right out the window with draft picks. I mean, people showing up. I liked, debut of Jericho. Shit like that was cool. They had the whole countdown ahead of time. So when, debuts were fun.
Yeah, and we've had cash-ins, draft picks, returns, all that. But
day after Mania, like when it was, Dolph doing the cash-in. That was like kind of one of the last times day after Mania was good.
Well, you had your girl Paige debut the year after, win the belt straight after.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled with that. I'm like, okay, just get rid of the belt, I guess, from AJ.
Well, we went to a Raw where Roman beat Undertaker, and then he couldn't speak the night before. They was just booed out the building.
That whole thing where he just said, "This is my yard now," and then left.
Yeah. But it was like 12, 13 minutes where they didn't allow him to speak. We was involved in that. In fact, can you believe it's the same guy?
I know. It's really something else that now he's able to just be himself. Like they all said, if he could portray himself as he is backstage, he'd be great. And Ricochet's never learned that lesson.
Oh, Ricochet is like a parody of it's almost like they said, like, it's like, okay, nobody likes you. So now, just be an actual
annoying
worst version as the corner, just play on the corniness.
I tell you what, it's much better now already. Him being a dick bad guy with his Cena thing, it's way better.
I don't know if he's way better.
It's way better than him trying to be a good guy and talk normal.
Do you remember the X-Pac promo after WrestleMania 14?
Yeah, about being a Bischoff's nose up Hogan's ass and all that kind of stuff. And, you look to your blood. I do remember all that. And the day after Michaels was gone for, how long was he gone? 7 years, 8 years, 6 years? He's gone a while.
Michaels was gone. And
then he came back for
4 years.
For that
SummerSlam.
That horrible, for SummerSlam, and then win that belt with that horrible brown outfit with his Dutch boy haircut. That was the worst.
That was a couple of months later. Survivor Series.
He became Mr. Jesus. So.
What did you think of last night? The exchange. That's the final.
Yeah,
they're making a big deal. That's the final thing that you'll ever see on Raw on television.
How long is the contract? Is it 10 years?
5 years.
Only 5.
With an option to renew for 5 years if they're happy.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So they're not locked in forever.
No, and it's 10 years with an out after 5 years. Whatever way you want to slice it. I mean, one way would favor WWE in terms of the out
leverage.
favors WWE because they would have to significantly underperform. The option to renew would mean that WWE would have to be hitting heights. I think it's got to be 10 years with an out after 5, as opposed to 5 years with an option to renew, because that would just be 5 years. Because 5 years with an option to renew is 5 years. Every contract's got an option to renew. So I think it's 10 years with a 5-year out for Netflix, which makes more sense. But I mean, it's fucking monster money. But for them, it's the biggest audience that they could possibly hit, because this thing, as we spoke about on the phone the other day, 1 in 9 households, 1 in 9 people worldwide can see it. So that would mean 1 in every 4 households, I think, something like that.
Is that it? I thought Netflix is in pretty much every household now.
No, because there's shit countries like I'm trying to think where.
Like those the towel-headed countries that aren't going to allow you to watch certain shit, probably.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So do we know if they're going to have the whole library on Netflix of Raw, or does that still go over to Peacock afterwards, or all the stuff from Netflix goes to both?
I saw online that the main stuff, like all the WrestleMania, SummerSlams, Rumbles, and Survivor Series are going over, but like all the old Raws won't be going over.
Well, we don't have Peacock here, so internationally, we've got Raw and SmackDown on Netflix,
And NXT,
and NXT, and the library goes over as well. So
I was going to say, it stopped finally for the UK, right? No more network.
No, network stopped today. Yeah, so no more network.
Today's the end of it. Oh shit! Yeah, we've been without network for ages at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at least you got Peacock for the rest of the library. We don't know where the rest of the library will be. That might actually be something that just goes, and WWE may need to create something else internationally to let people have it back. So, I mean, I don't think they're actually going to try and monetize it. From my understanding, is that they're just starting to release full pay-per-views onto their YouTube channel. So,
it's
because there's money in that too. Because not for me and you, but like when they're getting fucking 1 million views on an old pay-per-view now, they monetize that differently. Through sponsorship. So yeah, I mean, with that content library and the following that they've got, like that company's only going to make more money, and they bring the right people in to run that smartly, run the insertion of that content, cut it up, chop it up, get it onto TikToks, Instagram, other forms of like social media. Like they're going to milk that content out for years, and they're always creating new content on a weekly basis. So it's just a ridiculous like money making machine. But don't be misled. Like they make they make you believe, and I've heard a lot of people say. I even heard Disco and Russo complaining about it because Russo still doesn't like the product. They're both wrong. They're both idiots. They're both idiots, by the way. So Vince won't give credit for anything.
No, never.
Because you know how he's like angry, bitter, and he won't give credit for anything. So he refuses to like anything. And Glenn tells him that they should like everything because he says everything's sold out, and which is not true. Everything's sold out, and they're making more money than ever. Yeah, they're doing really good business. Mm-hmm. It's a different thing to what you actually see. So they're both wrong. Doing good business and getting people to increasing ticket prices, for example, like selling really expensive tickets, doesn't mean that it's a really good fucking period, like for watching. I mean, I still watch the TV show and I'm bored with long matches that go on there. Like yesterday, like Otis and Chad Gable are wrestling for 20 minutes. Like, so, and then you have
should have got that quite a while ago too. I'm like, I mean, it's not like it's something that matters, but at the same time, I was like, well, when the fuck, wasn't this the storyline that he was supposed to finally, get him?
I mean, the US title side was watchable because the story was Chelsea was going to win it, but there's nothing on this. These Intercontinental women's matches are boring as hell.
I mean, I thought that was a good match. You know, if you're just looking at a good match, that Lycra match, but there's no story about it or anything. You're just like, okay.
It's like that was the Intercontinental belt. That was the ugly side. Yeah. That was the ugly. They should have had the. That's what they should have called it. The pretty girls belt and the ugly girls belt, which is what the Intercontinental was. I mean, it's different. It's different horses for courses. Like people have different tastes, but all the final four are not for me. So,
yeah, I mean, I would kind of suspect that Dakota's going to win it, but I would prefer the other one to win it, Lycra. But that's because it's weird. It's almost like they have given it's not even second tier person who won it. Like Chelsea couldn't win a match, and she's the joke. And can't do anything, but they give her the second highest. That made no sense.
I mean, they wanted to do something.
It's like they really took the next below the level people and put them.
But I think they wanted to do something with her for a while because she's doing good segments on TV. Like she's watchable, people enjoy her. Like so, I think it's a reward for a whole year of work. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, when it comes to, like, I equate football with or quarterbacks with jobbers. When they've sucked for so long, it's hard to believe when they actually going to have a win. Um, and it's like she lost so much all the time. Where you're like, now she's holding a title. You're like, how shouldn't the next person who faces her win? But
well, I mean, Tiffany's losing all the time. She's got the belt briefcase, and they always do that.
They always do it. Yeah, whoever has that thing gets to lose. I would assume she cashing in the first Monday Night Raw.
I don't know. There's a lot on there. There's a lot going.
They could, they could push that back a little bit because I'm like, this thing's gonna have everything in the world next week on it. And we still haven't talked about that promo at the end. I thought it was fantastic. I like texted Fausti because he doesn't watch it live as it is for me, and I was like, Punk is so fucking good. It's like so naturally good, and them with their barbs throwing back and forth of real shit is always good. I'd love if they even add a little bit more, and like if Seth threw in something about the difference is our people in charge backstage aren't going to be afraid for their lives, like the dweeb that was when you were there. So, just throw out a little stab,
Well, I mean, Rollins had the better lines there during the promo, I thought, yesterday. Like he got the ooze from the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, the one ooh that I was like, I don't see why it's an ooh is, you wouldn't know about having a kid. Well, is that something that he would even give a fuck to want? It's like telling me, oh, you wouldn't know what it's like that. I'd be like, okay, thank you. I don't want one. But like that kind of a thing. But everybody oohs with the going to AEW stuff because that's always the ooh,
But the kid one was a good line because I mean, yeah, kids are annoying, especially once you have them. But like, I mean, but then also, it's not masculine not to have them. Like men should have them. It is the next thing to do. So like, I mean, men that don't have kids are pussies, but then men who do have kids, men that do have kids are unhappy. So it's
pick your poison.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I'd rather be happy.
This kid right sitting here, he's pissed me off to the point where if he's going to Mania, if you see him and he gets to Mania and he's in Vegas and you see the pictures and whatever,
he will be.
He's paying for that. He's paying for that himself.
I don't think so.
No, he is.
Okay, we're gonna find out. We're gonna see.
My hotel's no. He's got a plan. Like you
want to go?
He's being paid.
Yeah.
Oh, he's being paid for. So he's running he's running a TikTok for me where he's being paid per video.
Okay.
He's also obviously with his autographs and stuff. Like he's good at getting them and piling them up, but he actually hasn't bothered selling any of the extra ones that he's got because he always gets a few extra bits. So it's like we had a disagreement about his progress and effort, shall we say, in certain departments. So I just said to him, fuck it, like this shit's not automatic now, because if you're going to be lazy and you're not going to actually achieve anything of note, and I'm not talking about the basics like turning up for school and getting B's and whatever.
B's,
I'm talking like
up and down for a B.
Yeah, but you're a moron. So
you expect them to get A's? Did you get A's?
Yeah, I did actually.
Really? I wouldn't expect you to applied yourself at all.
No, I didn't.
I didn't.
But this is the difference between me and him. I got away with it. Now everything's woke. So this is how we got into this fight, me and him. He wants to go to drama school, right? And he hates normal school. Now everything's woke. So he doesn't just get a grade, right?
Yeah.
He gets a effort grade as well.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, so the drama school is very strict. So they want to see your school report. And because the drama school reduces the school day down to 3 days a week, so they cut out certain lessons, basically the bullshit, like geography, history, they don't teach it, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's English, maths, science, and 2 solid days of drama. So I'm cool with that, right? Oh, and one other, isn't it? Media or something, or you get a choice of media.
You get to pick options, and you'll get to do those options.
Right, but
VGCSEs.
But history moves as an option, doesn't it? Not an automatic, which it is for you now. Yeah. Okay, so basically it's less subjects, right? So they can focus 2 days on the drama, but they need you up to speed. They need you like at a decent level. So they want to see a good school report, someone who's in line to get good grades. So someone who can basically cope with a 3-day school week and a 2-day drama week, right? So he didn't get the report for that. And it wasn't down to the grades or the predicted grades. It was down to this fucking work bullshit effort. So I was just like, listen, just fucking pretend you're trying. Like, there's got to be a way.
How would they know if you're trying or not? Because it's like if you turn in your homework that's done, what do they know that you did it 2 minutes before or if you did it a week before?
It's basically decided on behavior in class.
So just pretend to be behaving in class and then fuck off.
He's very disruptive.
I get all the work done. He's talk a lot.
He talks.
You're like me, easily distracted, right? That's what it is.
Class clown.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Yeah.
You have to bite your lip and just go.
All the stuff I did, but it wasn't actually graded. It said it in my written reports. Billy could try harder. Billy could be. Billy's this, but it was always like, if he did this, he could be this. But I mean, but it was like, if this, if that, if only he could, blah, blah. But it didn't actually translate to a grade. Now there are, why are you doing that?
I'm trying to get something
now there are actually 2 grades. There's an actual predicted grade for what you might do in your exams. And then there's a separate class grade in terms of like attention and effort.
Mm-hmm.
And those were like super low. So I said to him, look, we got to get these up. So then we got the third, there's every third of the year, there's a term. So we had the half-term report, and they're all pretty much exactly the same as where they were before, like even after we like spoke to him in September. So the report we got in November, everything was in the same place. So I was like, you're fucking paying for WrestleMania. Like you're not going to WrestleMania unless you're paying for WrestleMania. So I said, if you're bored of the school stuff, and you know what, the other reason we're doing it as well is because the school stuff is all pointless, other than English and maths. And English is important because you're always going to need to write an email. You're always going to need to communicate. So I say to him, like, get your English right. And if you switch off for the other stuff, you switch off. If you're not interested, you're not interested. If you don't care about the history anyway, I mean, the history's made up anyway. Like in 50 years, they'll be telling us a vaccination saved us from COVID, which is a lie. So how much more of history is a lie? I bet Hitler's a massive babyface. We know the Jews are We know Jews are heels. We know the Jews are the biggest heels, the biggest heels on the planet. So I mean, Hitler must have been Hulk Hogan.
Oh, listen.
So I mean, we don't know. Well, I mean, we don't know. So what's the point of learning about it? We don't know. All history is revisionist. So I mean, fuck, these people haven't heard me do a show for 6 months. I'm going to give them something to show the win. We haven't changed.
One more question, though. Didn't you say, like, fuck your holidays, they're shit anyway, and all that kind of horrible things to your father?
Yeah, so that
probably didn't help things.
No, so that was that. So there was the report, and then there was like, so that everything was like coming to a head, and yeah. So during the argument, that was said. Like he just said to me, "Why don't you just fucking move to America?" And like, because nobody wants you here. So I was like, "Oh, you're all good, like being with me when you're on my holidays. You were when we're away for like 3-4 weeks at a time." And he was like, "Fuck your holidays." Well, no, what did you say? I don't want to, but no, I don't want to be.
They're shitty anyway, or something right there.
But I don't want to be on your shit holidays. Yeah, no, I don't want to go on your.
Ooh, yikes! That's a lot of money, Spence. You know, Austin. That's a lot of money to be going on all these trips.
It's a lot of money that you don't. What the thing with these trips is, it's a lot, and this is for everybody that goes to any Mania or any trip to the US or wherever. it's a lot of stuff that you don't add up until the end. So it's like, okay, I'm going to Vegas right now, right? Me, if he comes, he's going to pay for himself for his ticket and his flight. He has to raise £2,000. He has 871, so he has 1,200 to make in the next like month or so. So he's going to learn how to do it. Because my point I was going to make was school doesn't really teach you anything about real life. There's nothing there about being entrepreneurial or anything like that. So there's nothing there for like cryptos, nothing there for business, P&Ls, how to make money online.
You need to learn English writing and some math. That's basically what you need to learn.
Yeah, and then outside of school, this shouldn't be seen as a bigger punishment as it is a punishment, but at the same time, like it can have benefits where, okay, he'll pay for this mania, but once he sorts himself out and we're getting on again, we're friends again, I'll take him to SummerSlam and all he has to do is save his spending money for his trainers and all that other bullshit. Because if I'm taking him on holiday, I don't want to be fucking buying him a pair of Jordans on the trip too. I already got to feed the kid and pay for the theme parks and all that kind of shit. And that circles me back to my other point. So what you don't realize is I'm going to Mania now. I've got my tickets for Vegas, hotels for Vegas, right? I don't yet have the Mania ticket. Separately, I will pay for Mania. So I'm going to clear out the Patreon account for the 6-pack for me and Cav, and that will go towards my Mania ticket. Then I will, at some point, book a flight. Then, at some point, they will start releasing, and I'll be like, oh, okay, my Mania ticket, that's like $800. Oh, that's my flight, that's $1,000. Oh, my hotels have already got them. They were like fucking 2,000, whatever, 1,500 actually, because I got them early.
Does he have to chip in for hotel or just ticket for the plane and ticket for Mania?
Yeah, no, hotel's done. He's already got that.
Ticket for plane, ticket for Mania is what he needs to save for.
That's right.
Okay.
So, but as I'm saying to people, because I get this question all the time, it doesn't sound like a lot. 800 for a ticket. Okay, people can raise 800. People can raise another grand for a flight. By the time you are raising all of that money, and then by the time they announce like, oh, go and meet CM, what's it called now? WWE World, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go and meet CM Punk at WWE World. Go and get a photo with CM Punk. Go and get an autograph from The Undertaker for $300. Then go and get your Ubers. Then go and get your food. Then go and add your Raw ticket, SmackDown ticket, all that kind of stuff. As you're slowly paying $200, $300, $100, $70, $80, $1,000, you're eventually in without noticing it for about $7,000, which is, and you never take time to like go back and add it up, because if they said to you up front, if someone said to you up front, how much is it to go to WrestleMania? And I said to you, it's about $7,000. You'd be like, oh, fuck that. I'm not going to WrestleMania.
Never.
But if you turn around and say like, oh, right, how much is it to go to Mania? Well, first thing you need to do is I would book the hotels for Vegas early, because they get really expensive. And flights too. Flights and hotels get more expensive closer to the time. So can you stop doing that? It's going to make me sick. Please, just refrain from doing it for the next 20 minutes. Fucking disgusting. Just picking his nail off his...
What? No, there's a piece of skin.
That's even more disgusting. I thought it was a nail. So if you turn around and go, oh, okay, so these are hotels, you'd be like, oh yeah, okay, I would expect to pay those prices for hotels. That's fine. Oh, these are the price for a flight. Oh, right, okay, yeah, I expect to pay for a flight. These are Mania tickets. Fuck me, what? Yeah, these are Mania tickets. Oh, well, it's WrestleMania. I need to go one time. I need to experience it. I guess I'll just have to pay that. It's different. It's like, it's all these slow release installment payments by the time you get there. And then it's only when, like, I have a conversation like we had the other day when I was in the gym, where I said to you, this year is going to cost me $10,000, because it's more expensive this time round for the little bits and pieces and all that. And then it's more expensive when you're in Vegas as well, as you know. I said, so this time's going to cost me close to $10,000. And if you give that figure up front, before you start getting involved in booking hotels and whatnot,
Yeah.
a lot less people probably go to it. I feel.
So Austin, you wouldn't rather like have something, like to buy actually something to have for yourself? You would rather actually go on a trip?
Yeah, I would, because there's not much to buy. I have a phone. I have a gaming. I have a console. I have all my football stuff. I don't really need anything else.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into traveling and doing stuff like that, sure. For me, I'd be like, I'd rather have toys and get some stupid stuff. But yeah, to each their own.
I mean, it's not like he's saving for a house, is it? So
yeah, that's true. I'm like, but that's a lot of money, and for a kid his age, you'd be like, oh my god, the things I could get, you know. But if you got what you need, whatever, you know, you're fine. But yeah, I mean, I get being a kid and telling your father, fuck off, I don't like you, you know, at that age. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think Billy's like highly offended by it, knowing this is what fucking kids do, and at that age, of course. But it's a lot of money to fucking gather up. Like you say, yeah, people could save up for it. People who have jobs could save up for it. It's not like he has some 9-to-5 job where he goes, all right, well, I'll just get my checks and, you know, go to work, this and that. So he kind of relying on you for him doing work for you and shit like that. And obviously, like you said, the selling of figures being, you know, autographed and everything like that.
it's mainly soccer. It's mainly the soccer stuff. Like, so, yeah, he's got the soccer jerseys. And also, he's got the soccer jerseys, so we get them signed. But he's also going to try and profit from selling them not signed as well. So, because we buy them in bulk.
Yeah.
So that means if people just want one, you can make money on that. So, yeah, he's going to go between selling the jerseys, selling the signed jerseys. He's going to go between running my TikTok. He's going to be doing a weekly show with me. So as we enter like the Netflix era, he's going to pop on here and do the show every week. So I won't say what he's going to get paid for it. I mean, it depends. We'll look at the numbers and see how they do. Like, because as I said to you the other day, I'm going to try and do shows with you as well, depending on how interested we are in this. Because if this is just unbelievable, can't miss TV, then I will naturally be calling you up anyway. So what me and Cav will be doing to give listeners an insight is I'm going to make sure that I sit down and record with Austin every week. So you'll have that side of things, and I'll get Cav on the phone while he's driving around in the week, and we're going to hit the record button. So essentially, mine and Austin's show is going to be a structured show, and mine and Cav's show is going to be not a show at all. It's going to be you listening to a phone call that we're having.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's all the time either. I mean, it depends. It depends on what's going on and what I got to do, because depends on the drive time. You know, that's about it. Because if I've got to get in and out of cars often, you know, so play that by ear. Because yeah, I and not having a structure, that's 100% better. That's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that, and also what is it? Learning about crypto, learning how to monetize a TikTok as well. Just bits and pieces, essentially. Just having some sort of skill to just getting used to fucking going to a post office, posting stuff out, taking in money, logging in what you made, logging in what you bought stuff for, just seeing what it's like to actually fucking grind out for a few weeks to actually make some money. And then maybe realizing that, look, you fucking get your head down and do what you need to do, either at school or outside of school. Get your head down for your drama, or get your head down for whatever opportunities you can get at this age, because after 18, that's it. Like you choose your career and that's it. You get going. And then that's pretty fucking shit. That's fucking either you've got a really good idea and you can work for yourself and have some freedom, or you got to answer to some fucking prick for 40 hours a week. And if he answers to some prick for 40 hours a week which his dad has never done because I'm actually successful. But if he has to go down that route, then that's his fault because he's not listened for these during this crucial period. So
it ain't easy to just not have a normal job. I mean, that's pretty much normal people, but we'll see how fucking things go.
And it is worse. It is the worst end of it is if the guy you work for is a prick.
Oh, and most are.
Yeah, because you do always get that power guy who loves it. Oh God, I'm so fucking sick.
So let's go into the categories then.
Yeah.
So pick one of the categories to start with, and each one of us will tell you who we have picked or what we have picked for that category to win for the year and why. I think Austin can go first once you give the rundown of which one we're doing.
All right, so I'm going to start. We'll work upwards. So this year we've got a best male, best female separately, and then we've got superstar of the year, which can be male or female. We'll start with best face though. So for best baby face, I've gone for four selections. Cody, because obviously for the whole year he's pushed as the number one baby face. Not really my thing. Really white meat. He had Danielson doing the whole I want to retire, I want to win, I'll retire when I lose it kind of thing. Obviously, he had Punk, not your traditional like babyface, but he's doing the Punk thing. Was on TV most of the year while he was injured, and then you have Jay Uso, who's probably the most over out of the four, which is the main ingredient for a babyface. Be over, sell shit. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the push or the storylines to warrant where these reactions, but doesn't mean we can't give him the award. So yeah, I'll throw it to you guys.
Austin, go for it. What do you got?
I got Cody, to be honest.
Really?
I think they've purposely made him the biggest baby face. I like his promos, I like his storylines, I like his matches. I think he was brilliant this year. So yeah, I have him as my best face.
What do you want to go through the other ones of why not for the other people?
Well, I couldn't put Danielson because I don't really watch AEW.
There you go. Tree in the woods that falls and nobody hears it.
I hate Punk. And I like Jey Uso, but I just prefer Cody Rhodes. I don't think Jey Uso's been pushed enough for me to put him as the number one.
So we need a tiebreaker. So are you going to go Cody 1, Jay 2? Who's number 3?
I'll go Cody 1, Jay 2, Punk 3, Daniel 4.
Okay, go on, Cass.
I'm actually in the same exact order. Cody's my pick for it. He's the champion of the biggest company. Shockingly, because like you said too, Billy, it's not my cup of tea. The white meat like crazy. Like you would think it would have soured. And you would have think, because his storylines, there's nothing like going on. Like finally something now is going on, but it was like, how many times are we going to get him and Owens for no reason? And then now it's finally, a reason why. But there hasn't been like a real feud for him. But being champion for the full year and not full, but for the most of the year, and he's majorly over too. It is not like the Cena where half the people are like, screw you for being a good guy. It's like everybody is behind him. Uso, like, I think Austin's right on the money with a lot of this. Uso is big time over, but I don't think he's won enough. He got the IC, but it was what, a week or two? Was it a week only? Fuck.
It was 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks and done. Over with the crowd, yes. But then Punk has been hurt. So he's majorly over. And I think probably the most popular of, and like, if you had everybody poll, it's very close, I think, because the kids are going to be a lot of Cody people. So that might put Cody over the top of that. And Brian is a tree in the woods. He won the title. Everybody likes him. Sure, I like him as a person and whatever, and he was great when he was on the other side and all that. And at the same time, though, it was He wins the title, and he says, before he wins the title, and he says, I have to get surgery on my neck by year's end. And then they go, oh, what are you going to do with the title? And he goes, oh, I'm just going to stay and until I lose the title. Then I'll retire and be done. But we know he needs to get surgery by year's end. I wonder if he'll lose the title before the year's end. So it's just AEW being AEW. So, yeah, that's my order. Cody number 1, Uso 2, Punk 3, Bryan 4.
Yeah, mine's essentially pointless then because Cody's 1, but I would have gone Jay number 1 just because I think everything effaces it. Just because the company pushed one guy doesn't mean that he's number 1. I think Jay's doing a better job, and then would actually do a better job with the belt too, based on the reactions he's getting. But yeah, but Cody, I couldn't get Cody lower than 2, so yeah, Cody would win that. The other 2, same reasons. Punk 3, Danielson 4. So yeah, winners Cody Rhodes, babyface of the year. Best heel. Now, the first 3 are easy to put in: Drew, Gunther, Liv Morgan. I wasn't sure about MJF because I don't think he's had his best year at all. It feels stale, and it feels like he's got his bag, got his deal, and he's not bothered either. I don't think the Ospreay stuff was okay. The Adam Cole stuff really isn't great, but there isn't another heel to put in. You could put Roman in just for the first 4 months of the year in the category. You could put Mox in for the last 4 months, but then I don't even like that stuff. So I think it's something that's turning people off. So MJF's a very weak pick in a weak category. The other 3 do deserve to be here, though.
What do you think, Austin? Who's 1, 2, 3, 4?
Just one quick thing. Instead of MJF, couldn't Solo have been there? He's done brilliant since Mania.
Who?
You can put Solo there.
Oh, Solo.
You can put Solo there. You can put Jacob there if you want. I did consider both.
Okay. I'll keep it how it is.
No, he's put Solo there for MJF. I'm absolutely fine with that. But Solo would still be 4th.
You could have a write-in and just have 5 then, and just where are you putting them otherwise?
I think McIntyre was the heel of the year.
Right.
To be honest, because his work with Punk was brilliant. Even I like the bloodline stuff at the end as well. I think his promos, his matches, everything's just been brilliant this year.
2.
I'm not a big Gunther fan, but I do like him. But I do like Liv Morgan more. So I think Liv Morgan 2nd, Gunther 3rd, and then Solo 4th.
I have the same order, but I'll explain why in a second. Cav?
I'm going with Drew first, too. I think I pretty much have the same order. So, but here's my reasoning for some of these things. Drew, of course, was, I mean, I think it's kind of obvious that Drew had with the whole Punk deal, and, you know, I mean, we thought it was a goofy thing with the whole bracelet deal, but at least there was a reasoning, and, like, I think Punk playing it well, like how angry he was about it, like who give a fuck. But if he's angry about it, then it makes you a better heel. Otherwise, if he's like, what do I care? I'll just make another bracelet. Then then you wouldn't be heel. And he's done a lot of things, and he's been very good on Twitter, shockingly. Like, he's been better out of the ring than being in the ring. MJF is last on this list. We were talking about this on my show not too long ago, and it's kind of like we've seen it now, and it used to be must-see TV when he was on. Like, you would want to see what he would have to say. Now it's very much the same thing you see every time from him. It's the spit the fucking gum at the people. It's the fuck you. It's, you know, it's not shocking anymore. I don't think AEW has done him any favors with a storyline to make him a heel, because he's just doing the same thing he was before. Him being gone, coming back, that completely interrupts everything. So that's last for me. Second is Liv, because of all the bad guy stuff she has done. I mean, it was a long storyline with her getting with Dom, you know, because it went for a while, and then she screws Rhea over and takes over her spot, all that kind of stuff. So that's fun. That's why I think she deserves to be up high there. And then you have Gunther is like very good, right? but he's almost a good guy. He's very, like, he shakes hands and wants an honorable match and wants to have a wrestling match where he doesn't cheat to win and just wants to be the best wrestler, but pretty much just tells people they're not at his level and they're shit. That's pretty much why he's a bad guy. So there's not a lot of bad guy to him. It's like, he goes, I want to just beat you. I want to prove I'm better than you. I don't want any interference. You're like, all right, well, I don't know why this is too much of a bad guy.
To me, he's a shit Nazi version of Brock Lesnar. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I would like him to lift some more weights too. That would, you imagine if he was the size of Brock Lesnar and did all this, maybe not even that size, a little bit less. He looks, he's tall, but that's why. So I'd have him third in the list. So it'd be Drew, Liv, Gunther, MJF.
Yeah, same order for me. MJF's not his best year. That's why we put Solo in instead. Mm-hmm. So Gunther doesn't really work for me, but he has been a solidly booked heel in the company. The top two, Drew first and Liv second. Just the comeback stories of Liv making herself believable as a heel. You're a hot girl. They don't want to boo you, yet she's managed to make this work. She's managed to get herself over. She's managed to make herself must-see on television. She's made herself a prominent part of the product every week. And Drew, too. Drew was pretty much staggering along. We saw him as a babyface. We saw him as, like, the angry heel, the psychopath before. But these are two, like, decent characters at an upper mid-card level. We both, even me as a friend, but you as a more honest outsider, we both agreed he's just missing something. Yep. Always he was missing something. And the odds of him finding it now were not good. But bearing in mind, he's been around forever. So this has really come out of nowhere. And it makes you wonder, like, was this Vince? Who did he? Was it there the whole time? Who held him back? Did he just get pissed off enough, like, and thought, fuck it? Because a lot of this started towards the end of a contract. So, yes, just two very surprising people. Liv would have won this on a normal year, but Drew's just been better. So, yeah, that's how I arrived at Drew, too. Okay. Nobody saw that coming, especially if you had your ears to the wall for conversations that we had privately about what Drew was missing. Mm-hmm. So, Cam, I just added this because I missed it out. But we'll do it. Feud of the year. This should be quick. 2 from AEW got on here somehow, and 2 from WWE. So Mariah and Tony, I thought that was built up well by AEW standards. Hangman and Swerve. This was a proper hate feud, and kind of what people would do to each other when wrestling feuds kind of happen, and then you think, oh my god, they're doing all this shit to each other, and then they wrestle. It's like, oh, why are they locking up? Well, they didn't. They tried to actually kill each other in the ring too. Cody versus Roman, which is the payoff to him winning the belt and obviously finishing the story, but also like ties into the match that they had, and then Punk versus Drew, which doesn't really need too much explanation. Like Cav already touched on it earlier with the whole bracelet thing. Austin, start, and you can be quick. And I know the AEW ones are going to be bottom 2 for you because you don't watch it.
Cody Roman first. Without The Rock is second, but The Rock carried it, in my opinion.
Okay.
So with the whole whipping, the blood, everything, that's first for me. Punk Drew second. There's not much to say. It was just a long feud. It was long. There was a lot to it. Brilliant matches. And then Hangman Swerve, I didn't know the build-up, but I watched the match, so I put that there. And I watched Mariah Tony as well. But I like Hangman Swerve, so third, and then Mariah and Tony fourth.
All right, Cav.
I have the same exact order. It's Cody and Roman because it was like 2 years. And the crescendo was. Oh
wow! I didn't see this going this way at all. I thought we'd be picking something else and just be going out of there quick.
It's went for about 2 years. The crescendo of it the climax was amazing with everybody showing up to end this whole thing. Punk and Drew, I was going back and forth between Punk and Drew and Hangman and Swerve, really. Punk and Drew, though, I'll go with second. The bracelet thing, like I said before, it's a little bit goofy. That's the only thing that kind of paused me in here. But the rest of the feud, it went a long time. It went while Punk was hurt, and they were still using this. And, like, a lot of stuff was going on while Punk wasn't even there, and they still made it work with at Mania screwing him over for the title, all that stuff. And then it did have a good crescendo where, of course, Punk lost the first one, and then Punk wins the second one with the bloodbath and all that kind of stuff, and the Claymore falling on the steps. Good shit. Hangman and Swerve, when you're burning down a guy's house, that was pretty good. And like, it was a good lead, and AEW finally did something where it was, I bought my old childhood house, and, made all that bullshit. And then what they did on Christmas, did you see that, Billy? Where if you went to the AEW YouTube, instead of a Yule log that was 24 hours just burning, it was Hangman sitting in front of the house on fire. That was good. Credit where credit's due. Mariah and Tony, it was... there's nothing really to it, I don't think, other than Mariah was the friend for a while and then kills her with the shoe. I think that did it more than anything else because she was bleeding all over the place and just hammering her in the face with a shoe and then beating her for the title. But that's dead last in that list.
And sometimes simple stuff like you knew it was coming, but it was done well. And sometimes that's what they don't do. They don't do stuff.
Yes.
Well, yeah, they don't. I mean, like with the whole, like, where's the Moxley thing going? What's the payoff? We don't know. Yeah. They had the Bucks.
We don't even know the Bucks still.
Bucks and Okada did the internal, company takeover. Like, we're taking over the company because we've got a stake in the company. Well, then another group came in and took over, and then we forgot they were trying to take over. So it's just a lot of stuff that's a mess. Whereas this was very clean and had a conclusion. And now it's a little bit messed up because Tony's doing the whole amnesia thing.
You know what? Faust has a brilliant theory about it. And I said, you know what? You got to say it on the next show because I think you nailed it. We all go, this is goofy, right? This amnesia. And where's this going, right? How about she is a world-renowned actress and she is doing this to fucking get Mariah May to put her guard down. And she's not having amnesia because we know Toni Storm is the actress. I think that's the way. That would completely fool you. You'd be like, oh shit, okay. That she was just going, look at I'm a complete actress. Look what I did. So that could work.
All right, so mine was number one was Punk and Drew. Just simply because Punk was injured at the Royal Rumble and they credited it to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Punk's injury was the best thing that ever happened in Drew McIntyre's career because he got himself into it. He wasn't planned into WrestleMania. We knew it was going to be Seth versus Punk. I don't even know what Drew was going to be.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Drew's in that match. Suddenly, he's constantly talking about CM Punk. Suddenly, we see this personality that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
They then while Punk is injured, to build up to the match at SummerSlam, they give them everything that they could possibly give them. So Drew wins the belt from Rollins. Rollins was having a good run because he was the first ever champion. They end that. Drew beats him. Drew has the belt for seconds. He celebrates with his wife, and then Punk's at fucking ringside, takes him out in front of his wife, and Damian Priest goes and cashes in. As if that wasn't enough, they fucking give Drew a rematch against Priest because he cashed in on him, and they fucking send CM Punk to Scotland as a referee. So Drew has to lose in Glasgow. Then the following month, they use their Money in the Bank for 2024 on the feud. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that because Money in the Bank gets hurt, and then you don't have the opportunity for a Jey Uso or a Logan Paul or someone to carry the briefcase around. But it certainly weighs into it being the feud of the year because you've used one briefcase on it. Now you've used a second briefcase on it because Punk cost Drew to cash in. Then you have Drew killing Punk and carrying his body into Chicago like he's I remember
A
I can't
deer
remember
on
the
his
scene.
shoulders.
Yeah, but it's from a movie. I can't remember where it's from. Where I think it's you lay down. I think it was something to do with the Romans. I can't remember the scene, but yeah, I mean, he carried him anyway on his back and laid him down. It was kind of like laying somebody down in a Roman leader down in Roman times and putting him down in the Colosseum. I think it's something to do with the Colosseum, Roman Colosseum. But regardless, so then you get to the match at SummerSlam. You involve Rollins. You even give Drew to win. Then you have that match in Germany, the bull rope match, and then you finish it off with that fucking insane Hell in a Cell, where the feud bookends with the matches bookend with the bracelet costing Punk, and then the bracelet fucking costs Drew in the Hell in a Cell as well. So it was just perfect storytelling the whole time. They benefit from Punk's injury. Punk fucking went and trained his ass off for the matches. 3 good matches. Constant back and forth on social media, good stuff on the television. They used all the money in the banks for it, put all of their resources possible into it. You could not say that this wasn't the number one priority on Raw. Became more important than the belt. There was no way that Gunther and Priest was a more important match at SummerSlam by the time Drew and Punk wrestled, and they should have closed out Hell in a Cell, but they couldn't because randomly The Rock said he was going to turn up for the pay-per-view in Atlanta. So, yeah, I had that number 1. But Cody Roman, definitely number 2. The We Want Cody stuff and getting rid of Rock and Roman.
Yeah.
Turning Rock into a heel may have been one of the best things that we'd seen all year. In fact, The Rock could have been on the list for heel of the year just for those 6 weeks. It's not really enough for me for him to win or for him to be a contender, but he certainly in 6 weeks did more than MJF did all year. But yeah, I mean, instead that credit kind of goes over to the feud of the year stuff. So yeah, Cody versus Roman, which could be called Cody versus Bloodline, number 2, and Hangman Swerve 3, Mariah Tony 4. You guys gave my feud as number 2. Both of you had it as number 2. So the ones that you both had as number 1 is number 1. So Cody Roman's number 1, yeah.
Okay.
It's the second time. Let's try and get a quick one in done before we move on to the main ones. Best pay-per-view of the year. WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Bad Blood, All in Wembley.
I think this is pretty easy.
Yeah.
WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Bad Blood, and All In.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go WrestleMania, SummerSlam, All In, Bad Blood. Because All In, you didn't enjoy that. You were there.
Yeah, but Bad Blood was better.
Okay. Gav?
No, the only thing, this is one where I can't give an order other than Mania being number 1, because I couldn't tell you anything other than I know All In was kind of a letdown, I think, because there wasn't as many people there, and I don't feel it had the same feel to it. But I couldn't tell you anything about, I couldn't remember a thing from SummerSlam, and I couldn't remember a thing from Bad Blood.
That's awful.
I know. I could not tell you what the main event of. Let me
SummerSlam is where Liv and Dom got together.
Okay.
They turned at the start.
Okay, that's
the first Punk and Drew match, and then you had Roman returning at the end to help Cody. It was a big pay-per-view.
Who's Cody against?
Gunther won solo.
Oh,
And Gunther won the championship.
Okay.
From Priest when Balor turned on him.
What happened at Bad Blood?
It's a lot. Huh?
What happened at Bad Blood?
Bad Blood.
Punk faced Drew, Hell in a Cell.
Oh, that's Hell in a Cell. Okay.
And
he came back when Cody and Roman won.
Yeah, Rock returned at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the things on Instagram where it showed, remember Rock came out and did the 1, 2, 3 with his fingers and did the cut the throat thing and just walked away? Did you see because at the time you go, well, what the fuck is that? And now you see the 3 different phases where it's Owens attacking, it's Drew attacking, and Rollins. attacking? Like, is that the three things?
Attacking who?
Rollins on Punk, and because he teamed with Roman, so that's one of the things. Cody being attacked because it's Cody, and then Drew going after the other bloodline people too. Is that the three? Like, why did he do 1, 2, 3?
That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, fucking nothing has, other than what the fuck else is it? Nothing's happened.
I thought it meant that Rock pinned Cody 1, 2, 3.
You think that's what he was doing the 1, 2, 3 for when he looked at them and then walked away?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
I don't know what the fuck it was. I thought something was going to happen when he did it.
There was 3 people standing in the ring. I just thought it was
all those 3 people with a throat slice. I like the idea of a new NWO though. I thought that was great. With the music was different too a little bit, and it was Owens, Drew, and Seth. I liked it.
What's that got to do with Rock?
That doesn't have to do anything with Rock, but I just like that could be an NWO.
I mean, I'm get sure the NWO,
but I'll take it. Something to see.
I think if you have to tie it together to someone from the NWO, you've got to get Nash or Bischoff or some TV. Depends who you trust out of those ones, those who actually be able to, be competent on TV this day and age. Best female. Let's move over to best pay per view. Did we finish it? We did WrestleMania, right?
I did Mania number 1. Yeah.
All right. Best female. So I got Liv Morgan, Mariah May, Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley. Austin.
Can you go back onto it? This is pretty easy for me.
I bet you were exactly the same too.
I'd say Liv. I don't watch AEW, so Liv, Rhea, Mariah May, Toni Storm.
And what are your reasons, or are we going to care?
Well, I already said Liv was second best heel of the year, so that obviously, and then I didn't see much from the Mariah May thing, but I did like the match they had. I saw a bit of the build up where she put the heel and made her bleed, so that was good. And then Rhea Ripley, I've just liked what she's done this year, but not much to say.
I'm almost the same order. I have Liv number 1, Rhea 2, Toni 3, Mariah 4. Toni's character is the best it's been ever. When she was doing her movie star stuff, very entertaining. I was like, I think she might be the most entertaining person on AEW at the time. Liv number 1, we said this and we said the reasons why. She's just had a great year and done very well for herself. Rhea number 2 because she had pretty much the second best year of female. Like she's way over, like big time. And then Mariah, I don't see much going on there. Yeah, she won the title and all that kind of stuff, but it's so. She's beneath Toni though.
Yeah, I just a side note. Just let's pretend on the best heel category that MJF wasn't there, and let's say Solo wasn't there either. I'm gonna just put Christian into that because I do enjoy the dad stuff.
Yeah.
But he was not enough to win. Best female, Liv Morgan had her best year. I've outlined all the reasons earlier for why she was second in best heel, but that certainly gets her this award. I think Rhea Ripley was the best wrestler of last year. I'm not really into her as a face, and also she needs to evolve a little bit. She needs to get better at talking. Still, she's just coming down. Like she sings her own song and all that kind of stuff, and
I hate when they sing their song on the way to the fucking ring.
Yeah, Mummy's going to get back on top. It's all, she's still
same shit.
Obviously, she's obviously still reading her lines, and she's too pushed and too far down now to be not progressing. So for me, she's not even number 2. So I would think I've got Toni 2, Mariah 3 and Ripley 4.
Wow.
I wrote it in the order that I wrote it in my order. In fact, I think I've done for a lot of this. So my order is the list. So yeah, I've got it that way. So so we all agreed it's Liv though anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. So best male, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, CM Punk.
I think I like heels more than faces, so I put Drew first.
Right.
Cody second.
Yep.
Punk third. Gunther fourth.
Okay, you want to add anything to that, or?
Well, I already stated my reasons for Drew and Cody before, and then I've liked Punk's work this year. It's better, and I'm not a big Gunther fan, but he's all right, but I prefer Punk over him.
Okay.
I'm going with Punk first. He's must-see TV. I think when he's going to be on and when he's going to be on the microphone. Not even I give a fuck about a match, but I always want to listen, see what he's going to say. So that goes right to the top for me. There's nobody else in there that I would be like, oh, I have to see. I could go to the bathroom during anybody else out there. I would actually want to see what Punk has to say. So number 2, Cody, because he's been the champion for the year and the most over, good guy, all that kind of shit. 3 is Gunther because of the year he's had. He's had 1 loss or 2 losses then. 1 to Cody, and then the mistake that they did by having Sammy beat him, which was stupid. And then Drew is 4th. He's had good stuff going on and everything like that, but for the male of the entire year of all those other people, I think he's as good of a year as he had. I don't think he's had the best year of everybody. And like, it's kind of a logjam 1, 2, 3. So it doesn't, or 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't mean, oh, he's fucking dead last because he was nothing. It's literally that squished together at the top.
So you got number 1 again?
CM.
Really? Okay. For me, my order is the way it's written. So I've got Drew number 1. You have Drew number 1 as well?
Yeah.
I got Drew number 1 just because Drew and Punk are neck and neck in that feud, but Drew was actually doing the bulk of the work because he was actually wrestling, whereas he was carrying Punk while Punk was not able to wrestle. So Punk could have been the best male had he actually been active throughout that time, but he wasn't. It was Drew McIntyre who carried their feud, and now Punk is the one who will obviously carry his own feud. Like, Punk's going to have a very good 2025. He's going to be the champion at some point. The stuff with Rollins is going to be good. I'm pretty sure, like, you're going to see Punk face John Cena again. So, I mean, next year, this category is going to be amazing. I can imagine Cena's going to have a huge year as well. So it'll be difficult for Drew to even get back in this conversation. But for me, he's been by far the best. Anything that you can say about Punk on the microphone, you couldn't miss when Drew was talking either. And Drew carried it on through social media. 12 months of solid activity. He was involved in all the matches as well. So for me, he's number 1. And Punk is 2. Cody's 3, because I just don't enjoy that stuff. And Gunther's 4, because, again, I just don't enjoy that stuff. So I've got Drew, Punk, Cody, Gunther.
Here's my thought on this, though, is I think you could have replaced Drew with nearly anybody. I don't think you could have replaced CM Punk with anybody and had the same feud. I think you could have replaced the other way.
That's not down to CM Punk's actual work. That's down to CM Punk's name. That's down to the fact that CM Punk already dropped the pipe bomb in 2011. CM Punk
is him. That's him talking.
Right. No, because he comes with a reputation as well. He's a ready-made star. I mean, if we're judging his individual work this year, there have been times where CM Punk cut a really bad promo a week ago where he was doing the porcupine, even when he was impersonating Rollins, and he makes references that people don't understand. I don't think Punk's been the best he's ever been on the mic this year. He's better than everyone else because everyone else is bad, because it's all cookie cutter performance center people who don't know how to talk. Like, it's going to be really hard to get, when this crop of people go, it's going to be really hard to get Gunther to learn how to speak. It's going to be really hard to get Bron Breakker to be entertaining. But
yeah,
they're going to have
rough.
They're gonna have to find their own voice. Punk's always had his voice, and same voice that carries over. He's getting a lot of points from people for being CM Punk. He's getting a lot of points from you for being CM Punk and what CM Punk was. But Drew McIntyre is brand new. This is Drew 2024, not CM Punk 2011, 2012. This isn't me rewarding someone for who they've always been. This is a brand new.
Well, I mean,
person.
I wouldn't be rewarding him if I thought he was not any good. Like when Hogan goes out there and is a fucking mess, fumbling over shit, I don't go, well, I remember Hogan with all his promos.
He was great, but he's been great, but he was equally matched by someone who it's not a wide margin, but I thought they both contributed equally, and Drew's just more active. That's all.
I got you.
Like Drew's got the match at Mania, and Punk's got the commentary at Mania. It's just it's marginal.
No problem. Gotcha. All right, what do we got? We got 2 more to go.
Yeah, 2 more to go. So let's do the best match of the year, because I've added more to these one because it's more of a debate. But I'm not sure it will be. Cody versus Roman, WrestleMania. Hell in a Cell, Drew versus Punk. Men's War Games. Seth versus Drew McIntyre. And then 2 AEW ones, both from All In. No, actually. Oh shit! I remember we added a match, didn't we? So it's seven matches, 3 from AEW. Ospreay versus MJF from All In, Bryan versus Swerve from All In, and Hangman versus Swerve from was it the week after All In, or 3 weeks later? That All Out, All In, and then All Out 3 weeks later. And they wonder why
they don't names for these shows.
Wonder why they don't have a fucking.
It's unbelievable that they would have 2 pay-per-views back-to-back, All Out, All In. That's fucking. It's insane.
And they're next to each other.
It's unbelievable. I'm always like, which one is this, in or out? I don't. It's that bad.
What's it? If you're all in, you're all in. Stuff. If you're all out, that's like I don't want to be. Or someone's all out is like they say when you have a shit idea. When you have a shit idea. Yeah. All out actually more negative. Like it's like you have a shit idea on Dragon's Den. It's like I'm all out. I'm all the way out.
I fold.
Yeah.
What do you think,
all
Austin?
Right, so
I have Cody Roman first, of course. You know, everyone coming to fight. Everyone like Cena, Undertaker, all those people. It was a good match in general. The end, the title ceremony. So I have that first. Second, I'm really swerving between Swerve and Hangman and Punk and Drew. I hit Punk and Drew second. Hangman, Swerve third. Bryan versus Swerve fourth. Men's War Games fifth. Ospreay MJF sixth, and then
Seth v. Drew.
Yeah,
which you really enjoyed live. But
no.
Yeah.
I'm going with Punk and Drew, Hell in a Cell first.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that was just, we've talked about it. It's fucking phenomenal. Good storytelling. And you know what? That's what helps. Because if this was just a match, like AEW would normally do, just put them in a Hell in a Cell and kill each other for no reason. There's no story. Then you wouldn't care. It'd be still fun. You'd go, all right, there's blood, whatever. But storyline has a lot to do with it, of course. I'm going with, because I like just disaster, and it's Swerve and Hangman. Stabbing him through his fucking face, stapling his face. I mean, it's like why I enjoy a Darby Allin match. Of all things, that is a match like I will sit and watch because I'm waiting for him to kill himself eventually. So it's one of those, it's Foley style, but a lighter person. I have to watch them, destroy themselves. I don't remember shit about Ospreay MJF, really. Seth and Drew, that was good because of all the aftermath. I would say, I guess second, though, I'd have to go with Cody and Roman because of everything that happened. I'm not putting that at number one only because they needed other people to make this as memorable as it was. Because if it was just those two and it was a regular match and he ended up winning, it's not what it was. It was just that everybody came back, so it was fucking spectacular. So that was number 2 for me.
Part of the match.
What's that?
That's part of the match.
Yeah, it's part of the match, but at the same time, it's a lot. You know, it couldn't top number 1 with the Punk and Drew because of I think I liked their story better than Roman and like I know Feud of the Year is Roman and Cody for me, but I don't know, maybe because it was the Drew thing. The way it ended was better, I think, with the fucking mess in Hell in a Cell. Brian and Swerve really didn't do shit for me, and War Games is all right. I wasn't going crazy by it, but it was fine.
All right. I've got number 1, Cody versus Roman. So you can only really do this once ever. And it's basically when you're a kid and you're playing with your toys, and then it's like, you know, I mean, if you're an older kid like Austin, not like when we were kids, now they've got like iPhones.
Yeah.
So you play the music from YouTube of like people coming down to the ring. So when you're playing with your toys now, you could play different entrances. And, you know, we used to have like shitty little entrance stages where you press the button and they played a really fuzzy sound effect of their music.
Those.
Do you remember the stages that played the music when they came down?
Totally. They had like a chip on their foot or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like fucking that. This was like Avengers Endgame. This was like a kid playing with his wrestlers, like, oh, and then he comes down, oh, and then he stops him, and then he stops him. Like,
it's not going to be as good as the first ever again.
Yeah, you can't ever do it again. So it's like when people bleed and they pass out, you know, like we know when that happened, and we all look at it and we say, oh, that's the Steve Austin finish. And now you'll be saying, that's the Cody Rhodes finish. That's the story finish from 2024. So that's why it has to be number 1. Number 2 is Punk and Drew. So fucking hard for Hell in a Cells to be even nominated because of what Foley and Undertaker did. Yeah. And this one is easily nominated so far that it probably would have won on a normal year where you didn't have the, you know, multiple orgasms.
If only Steve Austin showed up, it would have been better.
My God, yeah, absolutely.
I'm so annoyed by it still. I'm so bothered.
I'd like what happened? They don't like give him enough money. Did they call?
It wasn't enough money. They said.
Like, why did he say no? Like, I mean, how much money does he need?
Like to be involved? I go to do something that special. Why wouldn't you fucking almost be like, we'll fly you here and get your hotel. You don't need to even be paid for it because all your merchandise will sell.
There's got to be a part of him to turn around and say, like, hey, look,
he's got to regret it. He's got to regret it.
Your glass, we're going to do this. Your glass is going to break. You're going to come out and they're going to stun the Rock. You're going to stun the Rock. And it's not the Rock that he stunned. It's the fucking biggest movie star in the world, Rock. He's going to come out there fucking in his 50s and just fucking stun him. No sell anything. Rock's going to fucking swing for you. Rock's going to like, you're going to come to the ring.
Foley Rock spot by 10. He stuns and pulls him over top and fucking leaves.
At worst, you're going to come in. You're going to square off. The Rock's going to try and fucking swing for you. You're going to duck it and stunner him. Like, it's fucking unbelievable. And then at the end, you know, when Cody's celebrating, there's still going to be a highlight on Austin because he's going to bring the beers out for like everyone as well, isn't it?
Yeah, he would have probably overshadowed Cody. I mean, he's so beloved that they would have, you know, like I said, the amount of T-shirts. Right after that's done, all the fucking merchandise stands have Austin stuff to be buying. And they would have gotten a fortune.
It's very odd. Like, it's very odd they asked Undertaker the day of the show as well.
Because I guess it's because they couldn't get him. So they were like, well, that's our next fucking shot.
And did they actually wait, though, to the day of, like, for Steve to finally say, I miss my... I hope there's a story about him missing a flight or something.
There ain't no story about that. I've heard him say, no, he did it on a fucking interview or something. He said something about, I think he did it with Taker. And he said something about the money. I was like, what? I'm like, oh my God.
I don't know who to blame there. Like, I blame both because he should want to do it because it's an unbelievable like moment for him as well. And he will make his money back, as you said. And also for them, it's like, come on, you got to understand the difference between the career significance of Rock, Undertaker, and Austin Rock significantly. So whatever he's asking for, and maybe he just felt like.
But unless it was like he's like,
too.
no, I need a $500,000. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Maybe he felt like he had their balls by a barrel and just was like, you know what, it's got to be Austin Rock, hasn't it? Like, I know how much you need me in this spot. Because if the replacement's Undertaker, nobody associates Rock with Undertaker. I know they had matches, but I mean, King of the Ring 2000, I think they had a match.
I mean, yeah, it's not. I mean, it's just that era of people. That's the only thing. If anything, although we see him often is be Triple H and Rock, not Undertaker.
King of the Ring 99, it was. They were involved in King of the Ring 2000, but they were on the same six-man team, but he was a badass by then. Rock pinned Vince McMahon to win the title. It was so stupid. King of the Ring 2000. But yeah, 1999, they had a match. And then also Rock eliminated Undertaker from the tournament, the Survivor Series tournament. Taker got qualified or something when Rock won the belt, but it turned out like everybody was all the refs were all the officials were helping Rock because McMahon wanted Rock to win. Do you remember at the end when he turned? Yeah. So he was getting help for a tournament anyways. But yeah, not a storied history like Austin. So anyway, I've got that number one. Hell in a Cell number two. I've got Swerve and Hangman 3. Swerve and Bryan 4, because that was a really good match. Seth, Drew 5. War Games 6. Ospreay MJF 7. So yeah, Cody Roman wins this, I think, overall. Do you have it number one as well? Yeah. So we're on to our last one. By the way, I just added a category, but me and you can talk about it for like Austin doesn't have to. I just want to talk about it with you. Biggest fall, like the biggest fall, right at the end here. So I've got the 6 people I picked: Mercedes Moné, Adam Copeland, Karrion Kross, Bayley, Finn Balor, and Jon Moxley.
Would you know anything here, Austin? Would you know anything about this?
Well, let's make this one for us. I don't think Austin really, but like, so for me, just to run through why I even pick these people. Mercedes is a fucking car crash.
Yes.
I mean, she can't sell anything. Can't draw any like fucking can't draw any like money.
Oh,
like
and people don't like her. It's go away heat. It's not even you're a bad guy. It's we don't like you.
I mean, fucking Adam Copeland's fighting mid-carders and breaking his fucking leg, jumping off cages to wrestle these people. Like, why did you not go in there, do a limited fucking schedule and wrestle the top people? It's fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross just can't seem to get a push. He seems to do better stuff off TV than he does on TV. He's got a smoking hot like wife with him. He's like running a fucking group, yet he's tied together with The Miz, and I mean they got the win. They got the win in this feud with the Wyatts, but that almost just it's almost at the point where. But you know what? It's that thing you say where when you're used to something. I see him winning, and I think they're trash, and I think fucking hell, like they're not. Like I think this Wyatt Six is being booked downwards because he actually got a win, so he's in it for that reason. Bayley fucking won the Royal Rumble and the belt, and then had the worst, most insignificant run ever. Like they couldn't even decide what her music was. Now I just see her on TV. It's just an eye roll. It's like, what are you doing there? Finn Balor can't win any matches. Like he comes there and says, "We're going to do this, we're going to do that," and constantly loses to everybody all the time. Like I don't know what they can do with him. And John Moxley's carrying the belt. We don't know what his fucking mission is on TV. He's unwatchable, and outside of wrestling, there's videos surfacing of him being beaten by fucking supermarket managers at jiu-jitsu, which they can't stop them coming out because he's being beaten by everybody. But Mercedes wins still.
Oh, by far Mercedes here. I pretty much agree with everything you said. Finn Balor, God, I'm trying to see who's dead last on this. Because, yeah, Mercedes.
Who dead last would be someone you don't really feel fair that they're there.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what I'm trying to think. Like, I'd go, I think that's probably Bailey for me is dead last here. And Finn Balor.
Oh, given Bailey won the Royal Rumble, and the title at WrestleMania, she's had a horrible year. Like the level that she's at, and like just how irrelevant she feels. Yeah, I can't.
I put her last for me anyway, just because she's still there and she's still winning and shit like that. But meanwhile, that's why I laughed about the Chelsea Green winning. Because I go, Chelsea Green beat Bailey. What the fuck is this? I go, this match should have been 5 minutes the other way around. At least for Karrion Kross, at least compared to what the hell they have done with him, this is probably the best he's ever been, which is frightening. Because it's still not good. But and he needs to shave his head. I can't take the long hair. I can't take it. He looks like Kevin Thorne, fucking vampire out there with his suit. And then, like, there's a bunch right there because Finn Balor, who is champion and this and that, he's kind of just there. Like, I don't think much of him anymore. He's just in that group, you know? But yeah, it's got to be, and at least, well, Moxley has a title. He's the world champion over there, even though you've never seen a belt. And I'm expecting it to be smashed in the fucking briefcase or something. And I started calling him Ramblin' Rabbit because he goes out there and talks mumbo jumbo. Doesn't tell you anything. Never says anything. And then you got, old Cope jumping off the fucking cage where, Dax and Smash fucking talked about, if he wants to, did you see that? The fucking scrum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he should be able to. He should be allowed to. I'm like, why? So you want him to fucking do shit that he probably shouldn't do to extend his fucking career? The fuck are you talking about? Like, or land on your belly, not on your fucking legs. Who fucking jumps off the fucking cage? He lands on his legs. At least the Bronson fucking leg thing was way more of an obviously accident where I think he did everything pretty perfectly. You know, he was pretty flat. And his fucking toe caught the fucking mat first and twisted him, but it wasn't like he jumped to his feet.
Yeah, I didn't really, catch that one. Like, I mean, I've seen it back, but I didn't catch it at the time it happened.
Oh,
but,
not at all.
But yeah, I mean, Adam Cole has gone right to the top of the fucking cage. Like, so, I mean, and also, you know, one's not over 50 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Like, when people do this kind of thing, they're trying to be like, "Oh, I'm going to make my name now." Like, it's fucking you are Edge.
Yeah, you're done.
What are you doing? You're like, the minute you walk through this door in this shit company, you're the biggest name. As long as you don't over wrestle and start going 20 minutes and they all do it. They fucking go like, "Oh, I can still wrestle. I can be full time." Well, how does it? It doesn't benefit you. Just don't do it. Like, it was like fucking Punk against Bobby Fish. Now look at CM Punk.
Give him fucking 20 minutes.
CM Punk has had 5 matches in the WWE since he came back. Like, how fresh does he feel?
Yeah.
Like, by the time he was 12 months in, he was fucking going 20 minutes with Bobby Fish. And I think he'd like won the belt and already been injured. And was already like fucking pissed off with Hangman and the Young Bucks.
It's unbelievable.
A year in.
Isn't that guy that was Adam Cole in NXT?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's not a real fish.
Yeah, the guy he looks like Simon Gotch, if you remember him.
I remember him. Yeah,
with the vaudevillains. That guy.
I remember him from NXT.
Okay, yeah, he with the curly mustache. That's why. But I'm like, I'm waiting for him to show back up in AEW because they got that whole Undisputed Era back together again. Undisputed Failure.
Where are we up to? Oh, the
We're
final
done.
one. So overall superstar of the year.
Oh yeah,
overall
we gotta do superstar.
Yeah. So the final one, overall superstar of the year, and a woman's never even been nominated for this. So as far as I remember, so this year we got Liv Morgan, we got Gunther, we got Cody Rhodes, and then we have Drew McIntyre.
I'll say Drew, Morgan, Cody, Gunther.
Wow.
Why?
Well, I've loved Morgan's work this year. I've loved how she was manipulating Dom, going against Rhea completely. Drew, I've stated my reasons. I love this whole storyline with Punk.
Mm.
And then I'm not a big fan of Gunther. He's alright. And then Cody, I've liked him, but I think Liv Morgan and Drew have just been simply better.
So you got third?
Cody.
Okay. Cav?
I got Cody number one. Face of the company, white meat baby face. Everybody's in love. I haven't heard a boo out there. World champion of the biggest company in the fucking world. 2 is Gunther. For the year he had, like I said, he had 2 losses, and he's been like champion for when wasn't he champion for a month? Until he got this next one, maybe more than a month, but you know what I mean. 3 is Liv because she kind of almost reinvented herself, and she's like the top woman heel. Top, I think she's probably the top woman in the company at this point. Trying to think. Oh yeah, I was like, who the hell's champion on the other side? It's Nia. Never mind. And she's Miss Lingus. And then Drew is 4th. Drew is involved in good stories and stuff like that, but it's not like he is dominating, getting wins, and he's not a champion, so he'd be 4th on here. Everybody else has a title for and longer runs and other things going on.
Yeah, so for me, I got 2 champions that I don't like. I don't like that, and the problem for Cody is not his fault, but it was always going to be his problem. I can't make him superstar of the year because he has Feud. The challenger, you can't. I see these betting lines, right? 20-1, 25-1, 15-1 on his underdogs, and I'm not even compelled to put $5 on it because he's not going to lose.
Yeah.
Now, that's partially down to the fact that he's coming after Roman. He dethroned Roman, and it's almost like by doing that, you're almost automatically guaranteed a year. Now, at some point, people are going to have to start winning this belt where they're not guaranteed to hold it. It's not going to be like, oh my God, the lineage is you beat Roman, so you must get a year, and you beat Cody, so you must get a year too.
Yeah, right.
Because Cody had 18 months. Because it's going to get really boring, and Cody has suffered. Whereas we had it with Roman, and it's kind of like an extension. It's like, okay, so we got the big moment with Roman. It's like, oh, now it's like Cody. Now he's another guy where it doesn't change. And also, it's nowhere near as exciting. He doesn't have Roman's charisma. He doesn't have Roman's presence. He doesn't have the mic skills. Instead, he's doing the whole white meat thing. He's going like, I don't like it even when Punk goes, it's great to be alive in some shit city tonight. And when Cody's like,
what do you want to talk
Cody's
about?
like, yeah, what do you want to talk about?
But he always comes up with something like it doesn't seem like to be a boring thing he talks about. Like he does a little shoot stuff in there each time, really, with whoever the fuck he's talking about, you know?
But it's always like AJ Styles needs to do the whole Mark Henry thing to get it interesting. Like Solo's going to take the belt back to the bloodline. Like he's going to revenge the WrestleMania loss. Like that was a big deal. And now you got to do is the Owens like has to kill Orton and kill Cody in the big turn. He's carried by what his opponent's desperation to take his belt and not really anything that he's doing. It's kind of like everybody's turning on him.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Randy thing is to come, which makes me wonder if this guy's actually going to escape from
What's
WrestleMania.
up with Randy? Is he actually hurt? for some
No,
other thing?
I don't think so. But like, the fact that we know that feud is coming, it concerns me that Cody could actually escape with WrestleMania with his belt. But Gunther, very underwhelming as champion. Like, he lost the IC belt. He lost the belt in a match which I didn't think was that good. And then I don't like his matches in general. Over here, if this was just an award for like accolades, he's the king of the ring. He's won the belt, but his belt, his title, he has not made the title any more important. It wasn't really important when Seth had it. They used it as a prop, basically, to transition it over to Drew. Priest did nothing with it, and Gunther's been beaten Priest and done nothing with it either. In fact, they actually booked him as an underdog at one point. They were going like, they were doing the whole, he don't believe in himself. He doesn't believe in himself anymore. Like, so, yeah, for me, Gunther's fourth and Cody's third. The best champion out of the three has been Liv. In terms of, you want to see her, she's hot as hell, like, when she's coming out fucking jean shorts and all that kind of shit. Yeah. And if people will turn around and go, what's that got to do with Superstar of the Year? And I'll be like,
it's everything about everything. It's everything about the character.
You want to watch or not? Like, if I want to for that, or
if Nia was doing all this, it wouldn't be as good.
Right. And if and I'm watching anyway, but what about if fucking somebody is casually watching, or they watch at WrestleMania, they checked out, and suddenly they turn around and say, "Oh, this girl is the champ, and she's on TV. I might check out this whore." Like, this.
Yeah, she was at at the Houston game too against Baltimore.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Of course. And why did they send her down there? Mm-hmm. Because if she's on Netflix, then the people watching football that might have watched wrestling 10 years ago might actually watch. So she is very close to not only being like nominated, but winning. But I still think that Drew's had the best year. Irrelevant of neat. I mean, there's no way that he can be up here again, because in order to replicate this year, the reason why I've given it to Drew is this. So we've done this podcast, me and you now, for almost 10 years. And, well, I think you were popping on the other one for 10 years, and I think we went solo 9 years ago. But regardless, like, the constant thing we complain about during Vince's time is that they're just fighting for no reason. Everybody's fighting for no reason. Everybody's fighting for no reason, unless people were having like title matches, and then it would be like, okay, you win the Royal Rumble and you get the shot at WrestleMania, but then all year round, people just get given title matches. Oh, I got to go all the way through the Royal Rumble. Yeah, okay, I get it at WrestleMania, but also I can win this random triple threat match. I can win this random battle royal, and I've got a title shot next week. Also, there's money in the bank and whatnot. So it was hard to create contenders as it was, but at least they were fighting for a belt. Around that, we had nothing. If you compare it to the Attitude Era, like fucking, people were fighting over all sorts of reasons. Like fucking Al Snow and Boss Man were even given a reason to fight over him eating his dog. So everything was kind of written. Everyone wrestled for a reason. And now, like, that's kind of like gone away. There's too much like people doing shit for no reason. This guy had got a whole year out of a feud which didn't center around a belt. Now, it centered around at times him trying to win a belt and Punk costing him the belt. And, they could have even done that the other way. If they wanted to go even further, like Punk could have got a title shot at some point and Drew could have cost him or whatever, but they didn't do that with Punk. But yeah, all throughout the year, it was a feud which didn't need the belt. It was a genuine feud where I hate you, you hate me, I hate you from the way you were when you were here before. I don't want you here. And he's like, I hate you because of what you did with the bracelet. And you're talking about my wife, and Drew's on the social media. There's Drew t-shirts, Drew standing over the grave. Then Punk released a t-shirt with him standing over the grave. It was like all year long. This guy got an entire year out of a feud where they didn't have to waste a championship on it. And he's got to automatically finish above Gunther because all of his stuff was more important and more interesting. And there wasn't a single pay-per-view that Drew McIntyre wrestled on where, other than other than WrestleMania, where after WrestleMania, his match was less interesting than Cody's, because he wrestled for the championship against Priest. He won the Money in the Bank. Then his match at SummerSlam was more interesting than Cody solo. Then at Hell in a Cell, his match was more interesting than Cody wrestling, teaming up with Roman Reigns, who Roman Reigns hasn't been nominated for anything this year, by the way. And even now when he's come back, it does feel like now there's going to be regression, because it seems like a rehash of, oh, now I'm back with feuding the Bloodline, and I'm going to go through all the OG Bloodline, and I'm going to go through this list of people. Yeah, you lost that match like fucking 2.5 years ago now, so it kind of feels like not the best idea. But there's nowhere to go from Punk. So the reward is that you peak. So you're going to win. You're going to win. You're going to be he was very close to winning match of the year. He's won heel of the year, and I've got him as superstar of the year. You can take all the accolades for this amazing year. He's not going to be in the conversation in 2025, but this year it's been the best stuff. So yeah, I got Drew as well.
All right, that's it. We're done.
Does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, you guys both had him as number one. I did not.
But we had Cody 3 and he had Cody 2 and you had Cody 1. I was like, if there was a point, then would Cody win?
If we did, because I had Drew for last, so possibly.
So if it was 4 plus 4 plus 1, then Drew would have 9, and Cody would have 4 off you. Austin had him second, so that would be 3, and I had third, and that would be 2. So it would be 9 all.
Oh, there you go.
If there was a point. What do we go with a tiebreaker with? I guess
I had Liv Morgan second. What?
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, you think you had him at 2 with him.
Oh, you had Morgan.
So then Drew
second.
did win still.
Drew did win 9-8. Yeah.
Okay.
Drew, there you go.
All right. Well, I think everybody should continue to listen to the Dirty Sheets, because you will have Austin and Mr. Billy Body going over all of the things from Netflix Raw each week, going through. And my advice to Mr. Austin Body would be, for when you do if you're doing notes for Raw and things like that, you don't need to care about like how the actual match was, because nobody wants to hear that on podcasts, right? You want to look at more of, did things make sense? Did you notice anything weird during the match that was out of place? Have discussions about that. You don't need to go through, well, then there was an armbar, because nobody gives a fuck, right? If that's the template I usually do. It's always did you notice this weird shit that went on here? And then a lot of matches, like I go, what do you have to say about the match? Because I didn't give a fuck about it. And then we move on to the next one,
And in the women's matches, Cab's always noticing like a titty popping out.
Something's always going on. There's something. If you want to listen to my show, check it out. It's called Wrestlingus Show. And hear how we do it, because it's constantly just busting balls. It's constantly making fun of everything. So it's very different if you want to hear that, and maybe you kind of get an idea of how I move along through things. But it's just a different way to review, instead of saying, you don't want to do like Smart Wrestling Fan. It's the last thing you want to do. Right, Billy?
I haven't listened all year, actually.
I haven't listened since I got into a fight with the guy. I forget what the hell even happened. I gave him shit about something, and he got all upset, and he blocked all of my followers. It was the weirdest thing ever. People who didn't even follow him. He went to my Twitter and blocked everyone who was on my Twitter.
That's that Joe Negro guy.
Yes. So soft. I'm like, it is amazing. I go, not one of these people said anything to you. And they're like, hey, I was blocked. One of my followers, which is funny, because he goes, no, I won't be blocked. They know me. I've sent things into them. I'm fine. They blocked them. I go, they don't know you at all. You send something in. They don't know who the fuck you are. And they blocked them. So that's always fun. But yeah, check that out. My show, Billy's show. I'll be popping on here and there while I'm in the car fucking around, and we can talk about certain things. But otherwise, all my socials are at Lingus Mafia. All of Billy's are at where, Billy?
Well,
And your
I'm
TikTok
not on X
for Austin too.
Yeah, that's a problem as well. So we're going to have to address that this week. So my only X is my Soccer Gambling podcast one, and I don't want wrestling fans talking to me on there. So I need to have a wrestling Twitter again.
You can go to Sky.
But yeah,
Blue.
I have
Sky.
at lock betting. No, fuck that. That's woke shit. I'll be back on X soon. But I have Instagram. I have at lock betting. I have at Billy SGP on 2 Instagrams. Austin's at Austin's Toys and Games on Instagram as well. Austin's locked out of his TikTok, which has thousands and thousands and thousands of views, and he cannot remember the email that he used to set up. So if anyone knows how to get that back,
if anybody knows his email,
yeah, I mean, there's surely another way. It wasn't. It's not even batched to anyone's phone number, which is even worse.
Jesus.
So it's annoying because, I mean, he just literally just set it up with any email that he had at the time, and now can't remember it. So,
ouch.
Which is stupid as fuck. But yeah,
3.5 years.
Okay, well,
I guess you kind of gotta message TikTok and see if you can actually speak to somebody. Which, God, good luck, because you know how that goes.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to contact someone at YouTube. Fucking, you just talk to a wall at that fucking point. So, all right, everybody, we're out of here. Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.
What is this, a handsome contest?